The cause of these problems is not South Africans. The cause of this problem is our government that is led by Emmerson Mnangagwa. And I think in that video, you would hear that as far as she was blaming the patient, she also managed to tell us who is the elephant in the room.
Hello, Sanibonani, beautiful people. Sanibonani, how are you? I hope all of you are having a good day, and I hope everybody is having a safe Thursday, drama-free Thursday. So, last night we had a very interesting live about the minister. We all know which minister we're talking about, and it was an interesting live. And then this morning we woke up to the news that the Zimbabwean exile group is saying that they do not find the minister xenophobic, and they think she talked about something that just needed to be talked about. So let me just play a few clips for you.
When politicians and the rich come to South Africa and they spend money, serious money in private hospitals. The VP Chiwenga was here when he was sick. The president himself was here when he was sick. He didn't go to a public hospital. He came into a private hospital, and those bills were paid. So what is stopping them if they can, if they can pay private hospitals for their own health? Why are they not paying the public hospitals for the health that is being provided to Zimbabweans?
So basically, he's saying if the government of Zimbabwe, the politicians, can come to South Africa to get medical help and pay for themselves, probably using public funds to get medical attention from private hospitals, why can't they do the same for their own citizens? Why can't they pay for their citizens as well, so that their citizens do not become a burden to South Africa?
South Africa cannot keep on taking more and more of Zimbabwean problems. There's got to be an end to all this. It is true that we are burdening the health system in South Africa. That is beyond any reasonable doubt.
Yep, and I totally agree with something needs to be done by both countries, I believe, because it is a shame when you see that South Africans cannot access healthcare because of the burden of people who come from other countries. And I hope that two governments will be able to sit down and come up with a solution that's going to work and make sure that there's not one country that has to take a burden for two countries. Hopefully, they will find time to sit and talk as the governments, as the countries, because otherwise it's just going to be a problem that continues to happen.
She provided factual information as to the number of people, South Africans that are in the country, that the Minister of Health would account for and provide a budget for.
Yeah, basically they're also agreeing with the fact that when the budget is allocated, it's allocated based on people that are registered in the country, based on South Africans. And if that number is going to double by people who are not in the system, who are not registered, then the system will fail because they cannot provide for the number of people.
Now, there are so many Zimbabweans who find themselves in here, not because they want to be here, but because of the circumstances that are really beyond their control. Now,
yeah, so that's it. So that's what they're saying, that they do not find the minister xenophobic, and they think that she addressed something that it needs to be addressed. It needs to be addressed. And if she had addressed it in a diplomatic way, in a quiet manner, in an office somewhere, in a government meeting somewhere, it would not have come out to the public. So as much as how she addressed it is not the most tasteful way, but it's needed to be done that way, because sometimes medicine is bitter. So she just gave us a bitter pill. I hope the governments will be able to sit and talk and discuss and make sure that they do what they ask us to vote for. We have a problem. But anyway, tonight, let's talk about the live we are going to have tonight. How do you know if a church is a real church, as in a house of God, as in a religious place where people gather for prayer, or if it is a cult. You know, churches these days, they will tell you the pastor needs a car, you must contribute. But when a church member needs an operation or needs a cure for cancer, they will say, let us pray. So I think it was yesterday when I got these videos where one of the most popular pastors, J. Israel, also known as J. Dube, was confessing in an interview that he was basically not a real pastor. He was using people. He was sleeping with the slave queens at the church. He was doing it for rituals. I'll let you listen to some of the things. But basically at 9 South African time, I'd like us to talk about that issue. How do you tell when your church is a cult and it's not a real church, so that other people don't have to go through the same things that we have gone through? Let me just give you a sample of what he said.
Blood rituals exist. There are people who go there, they don't have any family members to kill, or they have killed already all their family members.
Okay, I don't mean to laugh, but okay. Okay.
Or they have killed already all of their family members.
Okay.
You see?
So
there's nobody else left to kill. So when they go there, they buy these children. So these are children that are actually kidnapped they're trafficked, kidnapped, trafficked from different places, and then they go sell them to that place. You see?
Yep. So when your church leaders are even taking part in trafficking of children, you know, times are tough.
I led a church in East London. We had a church of maybe plus minus 4,000 people. The pictures are everywhere online, everything.
Yeah.
There's no car that I didn't drive. There's no car that I did not drive. There's no money I didn't touch. Yeah, there's no slave queen I didn't sleep with. Yeah.
And were they at the front? In the front?
There's no type of drug that I didn't take.
And that's a pastor, guys. That's someone that people took their hard-earned money to pay, with the hope of getting first-class tickets to heaven. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's scary.
And mostly all the women that I've slept with. Maybe some of them will watch this. There's normally one normal routine that I've always done with most of them. I've always kept a white towel. And after the intercourse, I always use the white towel to wipe their private part. And then I always keep the towel. I've done this to most of them, you see, and it was part of the ritual. So after some time, I gather my towels, and then I take them to the river, or I take them to the sea. Then I throw them into the sea as a sacrifice, giving back to the mermaid.
Okay.
Each time at night, I'll be sleeping. At times, I think I've had maybe a couple of miscarriages as well, with a couple of women. And I'd love to believe that those unborn babies were also.
Yeah, so those unborn babies were also part of the ritual for him to get even richer. And this is becoming more and more common, especially in South Africa. But let me not dwell too much into this issue. We will talk about it at 8. Let us talk about it at 8. How can you tell if a church is a real place for worship, or if it's a cult where you are worshiping the man in a suit? Yeah, I know people who've gone hungry, selling everything they have. I know people who've resigned from work and taken money from their pension to give to the church. I know people who'd rather have their children starve as long as the pastor has everything he wants. I know, well, even when we were growing up, before all these churches of today, there was always that special cabinets with the pastor's plates and the pastor's cups and glasses. Do we still do that? Should we still do that? And why do we do that? Why did our parents do that? Why do you worship another man more than your husband, more than your father, more than God himself even? Yeah. So 9 p.m., let's talk about it. Thank you so much. Love you guys. See you later.